experience and involvement?
Commissioner, if I may, like I mentioned, I did withdraw from that, but it is very common. I would say you have 2-3 events a month where it's high-value cargo, to say cobalt, copper, or even just a normal blue light hijacking, which, as indicated, and it's prevalent in social media, news media, where police officers are part of the hijacking team. And then again, with the recovery on cobalt and copper, it is a planned operation from the start to the very end of the fake recovery. So these individuals that's doing the recoveries, that invoices the clients or the owners of the property, they would know from the start where the copper is going. They would know which vehicle to take. They would know which route to take. This is very prevalent along the N12, not the N12, my apologies, the N1 and then the N3 going past Alberton. So, and in most cases, until a stage, I would say until 6-7 months ago, it was very prevalent that EMPD members were doing the recoveries with individuals such as Etienne and Chris involved.
Thank you.
After Jaco Hannekom's death. Jaco Hannekom was never a police officer. Jaco Hannekom he was a registered police informer. And as indicated, I believe he was involved with these illicit activities. And he was, that evening when I confronted him, he was in fact impersonating a police officer. So, I even indicated or asked him, so if you are the officer, how is it possible that you have a criminal conviction, you are not fit to carry a firearm? Because I did check I did check Jaco Hannekom's background when he became a role player, and I knew that he's not fit to carry a firearm. In actual fact, he tried unsuccessfully a few times to obtain a firearms license or even a competency. And then also from that, I knew that it's impossible for Jaco Hannekom to be an EMPD member.
So what you are telling this commission, Witness D, is that there are private citizens out there who are driving around in EMPD vehicles fitted with blue lights, and they carry with them letters signed by senior officials within EMPD representing to the public that these people are officers.
That is what I'm saying, Commissioner.
So what you are telling this commission, Witness D, is that there are private citizens out there who are driving around in EMPD vehicles fitted with blue lights, and they carry with them letters signed by senior officials within EMPD representing to the public that these people are officers.
That is what I'm saying, Commissioner.
I have two questions about that. For the protection of the city manager, did the city of Ekurhuleni use private security companies? That's question one. If the answer is yes, did those private security companies use blue lights during your time in that position?
Thank you, Commissioners. During my time as the commander for the VIP unit, members of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department officers were responsible for the protection of all our principal. We are talking the city manager, where I happen to be one of the BGs or bodyguards in that term, and the executive mayor, member of the EMPD. At no given point did we have security personnel responsible for the conveyance nor the protection of any of our city officials, including the principal, when I was commander there.
Thank you, Colonel. What then was the response to your proposal?
I was told to back off. I was told to back off and allow the office of the city manager to handle further media inquiries.
And who told you to back off?
I was informed by the spokesperson for the city of Ekurhuleni, Mr. Zweli Dlamini.
And so
the one that came around to the driver's seat cocked a firearm and pointed it to me. I had the windows down. And he then demanded that I switch off the vehicle. So he puts his hand in to try and reach for the keys on the ignition, but it's not the kind that you start manually with the key, it's those press buttons. And there was a lot of things that was being said. Behind me, as I was on the driver's seat, another came in and there was this sharp metal object against my neck. Initially I thought, yes, a knife that's going to slit my throat, only to discover that that is a firearm. And that, I think what hurt me the most with everything that was said at that point, it was then, it is things that are work related. And the fact that, they want a phone from me and the information which they want, and the fact that they would be, sorry, commissioners. I was hit on the head with a firearm. The accosters literally looking inside the vehicle to identify who the drivers are.
Ms. Thepa, should we take a short adjournment for you to compose yourself, perhaps?
Please, Commissioner.
Let us adjourn. You will please indicate to us, Ms. Msasega.
I have never came across anything that would put him in an instant that he was in at that time. Threats. But due to the role which he had played pertaining the Blue Light Saga, he found himself now being threatened. And with the threats that he had received, the insinuation that he operates a motorbike and he's an easy target, and the security which has been sought, and further discovered that the responses received from the accounting officer was that Revo is issued with a gun and he can protect himself. I'm now issued with a gun and a council vehicle, but why would I be told any different to what he was? They told me that they cannot register the case. They told me that if I'm refusing then to have this vehicle taken into the pound, then they will not register the case.
please continue.
So there was sufficient information. Already they had reduced to writing the statement I had deposed to them, and the fact that, here's an A1 statement that is existing. Here are the preamble statements, the diary that gets inserted into the docket, the nature of the crime that has been created, the elements thereof. But the only thing that was now a bone of contention was the physical object that they needed to impound. The docket was literally complete, Commissioner. I would believe that from that point, it would have gone to somebody for perusal, maybe a colonel of some, a captain of some sort, for perusal and just oathing, and then it was ready for processing. They assist me to an extent that, the docket is open, the A1 statement is written, the 3M forms I've completed, even the cover, the docket cover, the diary SAP 5 is then made. And just on its completion, they then tell me that, because at some point where this accosters had driven the vehicle, they would need to obtain the fingerprints. And, you know, it was a correct procedure to say the least. But what had been a bit of a hindrance for me, commissioners, is this vehicle doesn't even belong to me. What they had wanted to do is they had wanted to take this vehicle and take it to their pounds, maybe between Van Rijn or even Eriton for that matter. You know, I'm privileged by virtue of being a law enforcement agent to know exactly what happens at those pounds. A new vehicle coming in, coming out, it would be having certain parts gone, certain things removed from it. How am I then liable to things that wasn't my own making? I think it is the only thing that had directed me, or rather pushed me not to want to give in the vehicle for further processing. But I further suggested to the station and the guy that was assisting me, the officer that was taking the statement, to say, I do not mind if the LCRC is called to the station, that they process and take fingerprints at the station. But what would be a challenge for me, it would be that which would allow the vehicle to be taken to the SAPS 13 and be kept at their pound over a certain period due to the theft that happens there.
And sorry, Colonel, what is the LCRC?
The local criminal register record, the LCR, the criminal register, the local criminal register.
I then went into the bedroom where the suspect had been taken to by the Brockpan SAPS members with Viandre Pretorius. I noticed Viandre Pretorius, the suspect, with a plastic bag with the two SAPS Brockpan members assisting him from the right-hand side of the double bed. Tubing is where a plastic bag gets placed over a person's head, and that person gets suffocated to the point that he talks or cannot breathe, no longer breathe, and then obviously that we will, or they would obviously then ask him to talk to us, before, obviously to avoid this from taking place again. After this, Viandre and Kershaw Lee joined us. I asked whether a suspect talked, and Viandre responded that he will never ever talk again. A discussion between Commissioners, it was quite clear at this stage that it was expected from me to dispose of the deceased body. And as I said, it's especially after the meeting took place between themselves, it was quite clear that they decided between themselves that I'm the one that's supposed to dispose of the body.
And did you so agree?
I really didn't have a chance to agree. I felt like I was being forced. At this stage, I felt that I was being outnumbered, as the decision was made already, and we're dealing with a very serious and dangerous situation at this stage already.
Yes.
So I interpret it as if I don't comply, then I would probably be next.
Okay.